Hello, peace seekers. This is Thaniqua White popping in to give you a piece of my mind that will hopefully give you some peace of mind. Today, I want to talk a little bit about internal versus external motivation. Internal motivation is where it comes from you. You're excited, you're amped up, you're motivated to do things. Maybe it's about your purpose or your assignment or your career path or whatever it is that you're passionate about. You're internally motivated to do those things. Versus external motivation where you really need something or someone else to motivate you, to cheer you on, to tell you how great you are, and so on and so forth. External motivation is great. It's not necessarily a bad thing unless you don't have any internal motivation at all, and you're always focused on external motivation, meaning something outside of yourself to get you excited, to push you, because that doesn't last. If someone isn't cheering for you or voting for you or rooting for you, then you have no motivation at all. So what we really need to focus on is where is your internal motivation. If you have it, how to strengthen it. If you don't have it, how to find it and how to build upon it. So in a previous video, I talked a little bit about as children, as babies, everyone cheers for us. Well, maybe not everyone. Let's just say if you came from a healthy situation, a healthy family background, then everyone cheered for you. Almost everything you did, when you rolled over, when you sat up, when you started walking, when you started talking, when you fed yourself, everything was a cheering moment. Everything was exciting. And if you grew up that way, it probably didn't necessarily stop, but it might have just changed forms or slowed down, or you got cheered for different reasons, making A's, being on a sports team, or whatever. So you had a foundation of motivation. Even though that was external, what you do need in the beginning of life is external motivation so that you build it, learn to build it for yourself. So if your parents or your family helped you build it in the beginning, you probably had it at one point in life, and you may still have it now, the internal motivation, because you were proud of yourself. You realized you could do things, you got excited, and it made you want to try new things and just go for it. Now, if you did not come from a healthy situation where you had the cheering section and you did not have the internal motivation built from that external motivation, then you have a lot more work to do, because there are certain things that even as adults we still want. I still show my mom things that I've accomplished. She's probably the person that I go to show something before I put it out there if it's something major. So, and my grandmother, she's passed on now, but she was a person that I would still go to even as an adult. So even though I'm starting with talking about your foundation being a child, this is something that does not end just because you age. We all still need someone in our corner who's proud of us, who's happy for us, who's excited when we do things. It still gives us motivation and ammunition to keep going. But what I'm also talking about is if you did not get a chance to get that external motivation so that you could have internal motivation, now you've got to kind of go back and do some foundational work. What did you miss out on? What is it that does fuel your fire? What is it that does lift you up? If you don't know the answer to that question, you have to go on a search. You may not have run into it, or if you ran into it, you didn't know what it was. So now you have to look for it. What is it in your life? What is it that you want that you can internally get motivated for yourself to do? A lot of times it's going to be aligned with a purpose and or an assignment, something that's bigger and greater than you. Because we can tend to give up on ourselves if it's only for us, if it'll only make us happy, if it'll only matter to us, if there's nothing bigger behind it, you'll be wanting to give up on yourself sometimes. But if you can find a purpose, how to serve, someone that you have the answer to their problem and you know how to fix it, you know how to resolve it or solve it. That is one huge way of how to find your internal motivation. Again, though, you're going to have to look for it, especially if it didn't get ingrained in you as a little person, as a little one. You're going to have to look for what is your purpose and assignment in this life. And it's not about you. You're the catalyst, but it's not about you. It's about who are you going to serve. So think about that. What problem in the world do you have the answer to? And don't think about, oh, someone's already doing that. Well, they're not doing it like you're doing it. You can be creative. You can do something that's kind of out there in a totally different way, and you're going to reach more people or different people than someone out there who's already doing it. Someone is going to respond to you and the way you present yourself and the problem, the solve to the problem in a different way. They're going to respond to you rather than someone else who might already be doing it. So don't allow yourself to fall into that pit hole that someone else is already doing it. If you have the answer to someone's problem, think about that as being your purpose. Use that to start to build your internal motivation. What is going to drive you to get yourself out there to serve a purpose and to solve a problem for someone in the world? I'm going to come back in another video and talk about the other side of a lack of internal motivation, where maybe you did have that healthy background and you did once have the internal drive and motivation, but over a period of time, life and circumstances and situations kind of drove it out of you. So if you like this content, remember to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. If you'd like to comment, please do. But until then, be proactive about your mental health, be well, and God bless.